is going to be interactive. Okay, Temi Tokwe. Who else? I can see Mr. Tosin. Who else? Okay. So thank you all for joining. I can see 23 people here. That's amazing. Christmas season and the holiday season. Thank you so much for joining. Like I mentioned, I really want this session to be interactive, and I'm just here. I don't have slides. I really don't like slides. I feel like it just makes it so official, and I just decided I was not going to, even though it was a short time frame, but I said no, I was not going to prepare any slides. I'm just going to share my story. I believe that stories are very important. Stories, people can relate to stories more. So my name is Chekwube Uchea. A lot of people call me Uchea, but my first name is Chekwube, and I like being called Chekwube. It means hope. The full name is Chekwube Chukwu, and it means hope in God. So I'm going to talk about my story before I came into the UK, and also share the challenges and everything I experienced in the last 3 years. Before I came into the UK, I was the senior HR manager of Verify Me Nigeria. If you can hear me, please let me know if you can hear me. Can you raise your hand, please? Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So before I came into the UK, I was the HR manager of Verify Me, and I was also at the senior executive level. And all of a sudden, I decided I was going to resign. Don't get me wrong, I've always had the dream to travel out of the country to do a master's, to pursue a master's degree. But I didn't have the means. I didn't have a good job. If you've been following me on LinkedIn and my stories, I've shared a lot of my stories. So I finished my first master's degree in 2015. And when I finished, it was so hard to get a job, like really hard to get a job. I tried to look for internships. I tried to look for HR roles. I wasn't getting anything. And I didn't know why that was happening because to me, I felt like I had the skills. The only thing was that I didn't know there were things that I wasn't doing right. So I eventually got a job, right? I got a job and I started practicing human resource management. And fast forward to 2019, I got a job with Verify Me Nigeria. Verify Me is a tech company. Verify Me is a tech company, and I worked there for over 2 years. It was an amazing company because I remember I was not the most qualified. I remember when I interviewed for that role, I was not the most qualified. At the time, I think I had 3 years experience or less than 4 years. And the people who interviewed with me had like 10 years experience, 15 years experience, but my boss chose me. That was when I realized that even when you want to get a job, people, the recruiters or the hiring managers don't just look at your skills because they also look at other things like your whole personality. What are you bringing? Not just the skills, your talent, your experience, but they're looking at your personality in general. And my boss chose me to be the HR manager, even though I wasn't that qualified to handle that role. So I set up the HR department of Verify Me. And after a year, my boss, promoted me, became the senior HR manager. It got to a point where I was made a part of the senior executive. Imagine after 2 years saying I want to resign. My boss didn't take it well. He didn't take it well. And he didn't know I also had like a dream to pursue a master's in human resource management. So my first master's degree was in industrial sociology because I had a background in sociology, BSc in sociology, first master's in industrial sociology. But I wanted, because of my passion for human resources, I wanted to pursue a master's degree in HR. And so at that time, I knew that it was time, right? Even though I didn't have all the resources, I didn't have like a lot of money saved up, but I just needed to take that risk. I resigned. And when I resigned, I came into the UK. It was really difficult. It was really challenging. Like I mentioned, I was a self-funded student. I chose University of Liverpool for different reasons, right? One of the reasons was because they were not expecting me to provide them with IELTS. At the time, I said, why should I did my BSc and masters in my first master's in English. Why should I provide IELTS to show that I can speak English fluently when I'd had my degree in English? So I chose University of Liverpool because they accepted my WAEC, my English in the WAEC. And so I came in, and I wasn't expecting that it was going to be all rosy, of course. Moving into a new country, settling, I wasn't expecting rosy times, but I wasn't also expecting the challenges that I went through. I went through so much. With my experience and skills coming from Nigeria, I thought I could get a job, at least in HR, but I couldn't get that. It took a while for me to get an internship. It took a while for me to get the NHS job that I got as a senior recruiter. But I could see that the experiences, they didn't value the experience that I have in Nigeria. I don't know why, right? So what I did was, okay, since I'm a self-funded student, my school fees was £22,300. That was a lot of money. I didn't have money saved up anywhere. So this was a big risk. At the time, I had applied for scholarship, but nothing was forthcoming. The only thing I got was £2,000 off. And that was because I'm from a Commonwealth country, Nigeria. So I had to pay £20,300 myself. I don't have a partner, no one. It's not like my parents gave me any money or I had savings. So this was a huge risk. But I had two options: take the risk or go back to Nigeria. And so I came in, and what I did was to start looking for jobs in like menial jobs. I call them menial jobs, even though they don't refer to it as menial jobs in the UK. So I did cleaning in schools. I worked in Tesco supermarket, the famous Tesco. I worked as a kitchen assistant. I worked as a catering assistant. I worked in nursing homes as a healthcare assistant. I worked in mental health hospitals. I worked in so many places because I needed to make sure that I fulfill this dream of pursuing a master's in an international university. And so, because I was really focused, I made sure that I set up like a plan. I said, oh, these are the times that I'm get this job done. Like, these are the months I'm going to work. I did the calculation. I made sure that I worked with agencies that were paying a lot of money because, a lot of people don't know that there are agencies that pay really well. So I remember my best friend, she sent me contacts of an agency that paid really well. And that's how I was able to make up for my school fees. So at the time, the agency was paying, I think, £17,000. And sorry, £17 per hour. I wish. £17 per hour. Then weekend, £20, £22, 24, 26, or thereabouts. So because of that, that really helped me. However, it was not easy getting these jobs. I tell people, even these care jobs, even registering with these agencies, it's not easy. You need to find a way to build relationships with the consultants. And that was what I did. I feel like my background in HR helped me build relationships with these people. Most of these people were South Africans, and they had a lot of people who were calling them because they needed shifts. So I had to find a way to build relationship with them. And how did I do it? People don't know that all these people are also human beings, right? Things like asking about their family, how are they doing? Yes, you want shifts. Everybody is looking for shifts. But what is that thing that is going to stand you out amongst every other person that is contacting them for the same shifts? Let's say they need two people to cover a shift. And they will always remember the person that stands out, right? So that's how I was able to build relationship with these people. And they always remembered me when they had shifts. And I traveled to different places in the UK to get shifts. A lot of people didn't know that for 9 months straight, I was not on LinkedIn. I was not on social media. I was nowhere to be found. A lot of people were sending me messages. How have you been? We know that you've always been on LinkedIn. We've not seen you for a very long time. But I had no choice than to focus on my studies. Thankfully, after a year, I graduated. And after I graduated, I was able to finish paying my school fees. I got on the graduate visa, but I said to myself, okay, because I've had experiences of these companies always asking me for your visa, what kind of visa do you have? Oh, you have a student visa, 20 hours restriction, we cannot employ you. What am I going to do? So me and my best friend, we tried to look for like a visa that would help us not to be dependent on any employer. I went to gov.uk and we're doing our research, and we found the Global Talent Visa. The first thing we did, we laughed at each other. So I laughed at myself and she laughed at herself, and I laughed at her and she laughed at me. That, oh no, this type of visa is meant for some certain kind of people, talented people. Imagine we already disqualified ourselves by ourselves. We went through the requirements. We saw everything that technician was requesting, because I applied through the digital technology route, and I just laughed at myself like, oh, I'm not even that talented. How can I get this? And that's what we do most of the time. Sometimes we disqualify ourselves from opportunities without even trying. But thankfully, because I'd started building a personal brand on LinkedIn before I came into the UK. So I have a coach who has been coaching me for the past 6 years now. Yeah, I think the first time I started, she started coaching me was in 2019. And so what I did, because I was so confused, I didn't know what to do. At a point, I almost went to apply for nursing degree. I almost went to apply to study nursing in the UK, because I knew that I didn't want to go back to Nigeria. I was just confused. I was at a very bad place, and my spirit just said, you know what, just contact your coach and have a clarity session with her. And so I contacted her, and we had a clarity session. And there and then I knew that nursing was out of it. I was not going to study nursing. So what else am I going to do? And she said, oh, Chekwube, have you heard about the Global Talent Visa? I said, yes, I have, but no, I don't think it's for me. See all the requirements, see all the things they are requesting. Where am I going to get it from? And she said, no, Chekwube, go through the requirements again. Get a coach, a global talent coach, to coach you to get the visa. You never know, just try. I can never forget those words. Get a global talent coach to coach you to get this visa. You never know, just try. So what I did, when she sent me the contact of my coach, I reached out to him. I paid for the consultation session. He asked me to share my story, and I did. A lot of things that I had done and I'd gotten credit for in the past, I didn't know I could use all those things for my application. But it was during that clarity session that it made sense that all these things I've been doing for the past 5 years is going to pay off now. And why am I saying this? People underestimate the importance of building a personal brand. I remember when I was working with Verify Me, I was also building a personal brand by the side. Initially, it's, my boss at the time was not like, because I was also everywhere on LinkedIn, right? There are times when he would say, oh, this is recorded, so there are things I can't say, but it's very important to build a personal brand. A lot of people don't know that you need to build a personal brand outside of your 9-to-5 job. Your 9-to-5 is not you. So have you asked yourself this question? If you take away your 9-to-5 job, what will people say about you? If you can ask yourself that question, if I take away my 9-to-5 job, if I'm in the UK now and you have a 9-to-5 job, or whatever you're doing, if you take that away, what are people going to say? Who are people going to say you are? Personal branding is very, very important. And that's one of the things that helped me in getting my Global Talent Visa. So in 2020, I launched out on LinkedIn, and my coach just said, post consecutively for 30 days, just 30 days. The people also underestimate the power of consistency on LinkedIn. Just because I was posting consistently for 30 days, I got a lot of opportunities. I got nominated for awards. I was just on my own, and people decided to nominate me for certain things. Meanwhile, I didn't know that was personal branding. I didn't know that was personal branding. I just felt like I should share my story to help people on LinkedIn, how it was so difficult for me to get a job when I finished my first master's degree. Imagine finishing my first master's degree, no job. And I think I was 26 at the time. And I couldn't be asking my father for money at that time. So I needed to do something different, right? So because of the mistakes I made, I noticed that I made a lot of mistakes. My CV, my cover letter, those things that I knew that, could help people. I started sharing it on LinkedIn. Nobody asked me to do it. I said, you know what? People will learn from this. Let me just share. I didn't know that was personal branding. I didn't know I was putting myself out there. I didn't know that was visibility for me until I started gaining people started recognizing me. I started getting nominations for awards, in that 2020. And guess what? Those awards that I was nominated for, those recognitions, everything helped me when I applied for my Global Talent Visa. It served as evidences for my Global Talent Visa. So personal branding is really key. A lot of people don't know that personal branding is key. So another thing I was going to talk about is For the global talent visa, I think I should just start talking about that now. People think it's just for those who have technical skills. No, if you go through the Tech Nation website, you see that you have technical skills and business skills. So you don't have to be a developer or an engineer or a cybersecurity expert to apply. If you have business skills, let's say you have sales skills and you've worked in product-led companies, you've worked in tech companies. Let me just say tech companies, because when you see product-led, those things also confuse people. Tech companies, if you go on LinkedIn and you see technology, information, and internet, you can see that that company is a tech company. If they have maybe products, software products, or platforms, that company is a tech company. So when I was applying, I applied as an employee of a tech company. So the thing about the Global Talent Visa is that this, and I'm talking for the technician route. That's how I applied through the technician route. You apply either as an employee of a tech company or a founder of a tech company. Now, I know I started talking about my story from 2019, but around that time, before then, I'd worked in other companies. Before the tech company I worked, I'd worked in Due Day, I'd worked in, other consulting companies. And there was a time Due Day shut down. And when Due Day shut down, I said to myself, so what am I going to do now? Due Day shut down, I don't have a job. And someone said, oh, Chekwube, we noticed that you love to clean. Have you thought about setting up a cleaning business? And I said, cleaning business? No, I'm not a business person. No. I just want to work and collect my salary at the end of the month, 9 to 5, and I'm okay. That was me as at 2018, right? But it was 2019. I gave this a thought. That was before I even got the job at Verify Me. I gave this a thought. I was like, yes, I love cleaning. I just naturally love to clean. I love neat places. So why can't I make this a business? And I started Gemma Home Care, which is now Gemma Cleans. So when I was applying, I applied both as an employee of Verify Me and as ex-employee of Verify Me and founder of Gemma Cleans. Because I get a lot of DMs, a lot of people say, oh, you have an HR background. How come you're able to get, but they forget that there are other things that I also do. I do other things. So I'm the founder of Gemma Cleans, a tech company. So what you can do if you don't have a company that you founded yourself, if you've worked in a tech company, you can also apply as an employee of a tech company. You can apply as an exceptional promise or exceptional talent. Now, my advice for people is that they apply as exceptional promise, because for talent, there are a lot of expectations. They want to see so many things that you've done, right? Now, when you're submitting things that will serve as your evidences, my advice is to submit at least 10 evidences. So the Tech Nation, when they are on the application form, they request for mandatory evidences, they request for optional evidences, optional 1, optional 2. For optional 1, they request for at least 2. My coach advised me not to do that, not to submit 2 evidences, because you never know if they will like it or not. So what I did was to submit at least 4 evidences for mandatory. For optional criteria, I requested for at least 2. I submitted at least 3. For optional 2, I also submitted at least 3. Now, let me break it down. The mandatory evidences, like I mentioned, are what? Because I was visible on LinkedIn, I had something to show for the work I've been doing in the last 5 years. And I started building my personal brand at 30. When I see people who don't have LinkedIn profiles or not taking LinkedIn seriously, I say, well, you might not know the value of LinkedIn now until you need it. I didn't know that LinkedIn was going to serve as, someone is raising their hand. I don't know, is that a mistake or? Is there a question?
No question. I'm monitoring it. No question.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that LinkedIn at the time when I was building my personal brand, I didn't know it was going to help me when it was time for me to apply for my Global Talent Visa. If you don't take anything from this conversation today or from this event today, please take your LinkedIn seriously. I started building my LinkedIn profile in 2019, but I launched out officially 2020. So 2020 to 2024, before I made my application in April this year, if someone had told me that LinkedIn would help me the way it helped me, I wouldn't have believed it. So LinkedIn is really very, very helpful. And you don't have to have everything figured out. When I started on LinkedIn, naturally I tell people I don't want anybody to see my face. Like if you notice, I don't do video content on LinkedIn. I built my personal brand through writing and storytelling and posting pictures. So I do photo shoots and I post pictures. You can't see me just coming to talk. I've not started. I don't like, a lot of people don't know that I'm very, when it comes to video content, I'm not comfortable with, video content. I prefer to just write and post. So you can build your brand through writing and storytelling and be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be authentic. I feel like one of the things that helped me to stand out on LinkedIn was my authenticity, and I was willing to be vulnerable. A lot of people don't want to share these things. I had to share all the challenges that I went through. So many people pretend as if everything is all rosy, they have their life all figured out. No, I don't have my life all figured out. I'm still trying to figure out I'm still taking one step at a time. But I strongly believe that if I'm learning from other people's stories, I feel I should also share my own story so that other people would learn from it as well. So LinkedIn is very, very important. Your personal brand is really important. When you start, if you decide, and the thing is, you can launch a brand. You can decide, for example, that you want to launch your brand in 2025, right? But you need to start, you need to think, what do you want people to know you as? When people hear your name, what comes to mind first, right? Then get a coach to help you. You don't have to know everything yourself. Get someone to help you. I think that one of the things I've noticed about people is that some people can be really stingy to themselves. And that's what I've learned about some people. Now, some people feel like investing in themselves, they don't want to pay coaches. They want to get things free. Yes, it's good to get things free. But when it comes to you, you are your best investment. Any investment you make in yourself will never be a waste. So self-development is really, really important. Invest in yourself. I see paying coaches, paying mentors, or having mentors, having coaches as investment. Sometimes I think about, imagine if I didn't have my coach, when I needed clarity at that point, what would have happened? Maybe I won't have gotten the global talent visa and I won't be here speaking to you today, right? But because she had coached me for the last 5 years, she knows my story, my journey, everything I'd achieved, all the awards I'd gotten. She said, no, Chekwube, she believed in me because she had coached me, she has seen my work. So it's very important that we invest in coaches. And it's not only her that is my coach. I have coaches for different things. Like when I wanted to get my global talent visa, I got a coach. I invested. It was an investment. So please don't see getting a coach as waste of money. Oh, what is this person going to teach me? I can get it free of charge online. No, there's a way that the coach would coach you that you will not be able to get that value online just like that. But even having that one-on-one relationship with someone that can understand you, that can serve as an accountability partner, goes a long way as well. So I was talking about the evidences, right? I talked about the mandatory evidences. For your mandatory evidences, what I submitted was the awards. So I'd gotten a lot of awards, recognition. Even when I was in University of Liverpool, I participated in an event and they gave me a certificate. I used it as well for my mandatory evidence. I also had to show the salary. So my salary increment. When I was in Verify Me, I was earning about 500,000 at the time. And so I had to also show that, I also showed that. Then I showed my the evidences or the everything that I had made in my company, the very was Gemma Cleans as well. So I showed a dashboard just to show all my clients the money I'd made, so they could see that prospect. They could see that, oh, this person is doing something. Remember, I applied as an exceptional promise, not talents, because my coach advised me, apply as promise, and so that they can see that you're working towards building a career in tech. And that's why I applied as exceptional promise. So apart from showing your awards or prizes or your salaries, when you come to the optional criteria, there are other things you need to show. So the companies that you've talked about, for example, I used Gemma Cleans and I also used Verify Me. I had to talk about them in detail. What did I do for this company? It's not just I showed my employment letter, I showed my pay slip, I showed my bank statement, but I also had to show other things. What were the things I did for them? What exactly did I do? What value did I add? So screenshots of these things, I added it as my evidences. So I did it for all the companies that I used. Then when it comes to your optional 2 criteria, things like speaking engagements, like a lot of people don't like to assess speaking engagements. Like this speaking engagement now for Creed, that's, if I was applying for my graduate visa again, I would use this as an evidence that I've spoken to a number of people and I talked about so and so. So start accepting speaking engagements, start putting yourself out there, start being visible. If you are visible, you will get opportunities for speaking engagements. I don't think, if I was not on LinkedIn, I don't think Oluwaseun would have known that there's someone called Chekwube and he wouldn't have reached out to me. Or even if I had a profile and I was not posted, he wouldn't have also seen me to reach out to me. So if you're visible, you get opportunities to speak. And when you get opportunities to speak, they can serve as evidences for your application. Apart from that, also, if you've not been maybe writing articles, for example, you can write articles on Medium. If you don't like to write at all, just start from somewhere, right? Start from somewhere, because writing is really key for this application, writing and storytelling. So I remember when I had the consultation with my coach, when I was planning to apply for my visa, he said something. He said there was someone who had all the evidences, but his visa was still denied. That scared me a lot because I said, how can someone have all the evidences? He had everything. He's even applied under the technical skills. So he has core technical skill and he still got denied. That got me scared. But I went ahead to apply, right? I went ahead to apply. Another thing again is the yeah. So I was talking about the article publication. So you need to publish articles on things that you do, for example, and it shouldn't be, don't use ChatGPT. There was someone that was asking me, oh, if I want to publish, can I? No, don't use ChatGPT because they even stated it there. Don't go and use ChatGPT to generate articles, right? Just make it personal, it has to show true thought leadership. They need to know that these articles are from you, not that you generated it from somewhere, right? They need to see that you wrote it yourself. So you can publish articles on Vanguard, you can publish articles on Guardian, platforms that are more known. I mean, there are other platforms like Top Niger, Daily Times, and the likes, but what I encourage people to do is to publish articles on platforms that people know, Vanguard, Guardian. Aside that, you also need 3 recommendation letters that are very, 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 very important. So you don't have to get recommendation letters from where you've worked. If you can get, amazing. But I've had questions, people asking me questions, oh, do I have to get recommendation letters from where I worked? Some people didn't build relationships with their let's say colleagues or their bosses. They didn't have a good relationship with them. So imagine asking for things like recommendation letter or commendation letter. It's going to be very difficult. So during my time, because I was HR, apart from the fact that I was HR, I made sure I built relationships with people. I had one-on-one relationships with people, and people underestimate the power of building one-on-one relationships. One of the person that gave me my recommendation letter was the CTO of Verify Me. He was the head of the tech department. And apart from the fact that, oh yeah, he was also part of the senior executive in the company, I made sure I would reach out to him, just check up on him, his family, what's happening, how I can help. And I remember the day I requested for a recommendation, and his response made me happy. He said, oh, Chicks, I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to help you with anything, in anything that will help your application. I'm willing. Imagine if I didn't build that relationship, right? Another story again, still same Verify Me. While I was there, one of the staff, she was in operations at the time. She told me that she loves HR, she wants to be in HR, but she doesn't know where to start. And I would always encourage her. I would always give her tips, what she can do. And she would always ask me questions and I would always guide her. When I knew I was going to resign, what I did was to make sure I started the process for her because she wanted to be in HR. So I had a conversation with my boss. I told him, oh, this person is interested in HR. Please, we need to put her in HR. This is what she has always wanted to, pursue a career in HR. So I made sure I started that process. So when I even left the company, we kept on chatting. She kept on asking me questions, and I kept, giving her tips on what she can do and how she can position herself in the company so that she can eventually get into the HR department. And one day I just heard she told me that she was already in HR, and I was really happy that the little that I did contributed to someone's career, right? Now that person is now she's now the HR manager of the company. That made me so happy. But apart from that, she also helped me when it came to when I wanted to apply for my visa. I reached out to her. I wasn't scared to reach out that, oh, I've not spoken to this person in ages. Will she answer me? Because I knew at least we've built that relationship. We have that ongoing relationship. It was easy for me to reach out to her. And when I reached out to her, I said, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. I need this, I need that. She answered me immediately. And she had a meeting with my boss. She talked about what I needed the application for. And my boss said, oh, give her anything she wants. Give her anything she wants. And I thought about it. I'm like, so imagine if I didn't do those things I did. Imagine if I didn't take my time to build relationships. Imagine if when she told me, oh, I'm interested in HR, I didn't listen to her. I just snubbed her and I was feeling too big. Which guts I would have been able to reach out to her to say, oh, please help me with this because I'm no longer there. She's now in charge, you know. So building relationships is really key because when it comes to your recommendation letters, you need people that have known you for a period of time that can vouch for you. Not everyone is willing to vouch for you. For someone to decide to vouch for it, the person must have known you, must have followed your work, must have know your capabilities and, your skills and your abilities. And so I reached out to him and he was really happy to give me, the CTO was really happy to give me the recommendation letter. Another person was my friend. She is the founder of a tech company and I've known her. I got to know her in University of Ibadan. That's over 15 years ago. Imagine if I did not keep that relationship with her, I wouldn't have been able to reach out to her too. And the third person was someone I met online on LinkedIn. I've never seen her face to face. We've only had conversations on the phone, chats. She has followed my work. She started following my work in 2020. And when I reached out to her, she was so happy to give me a recommendation. So why am I stressing LinkedIn? You don't have to see someone physically to build a relationship with that person. If you're intentional, you can meet people on LinkedIn and build credible relationships with them. And it's going to be mutually beneficial. So don't see relationships as, oh, I just want to get. What is the person also getting from you, right? So for the person online, the person I met on LinkedIn, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's why when I reached out to her, she was willing to help me. She was very happy, excited to help me because she had been following my work. And she's also an advocate of female founders, right? So for your recommendation letters, you need people who know you, people who have tech companies, founders, CTOs, chief technology officers of companies that can vouch for you, that can say, oh, this is your work. I've followed this person. I'm willing to sign anything, or I'm willing to, vouch for this person to get this. This person can get this visa because this person, has been doing the work for the past 5 years or for the past 3 years, depending on the experience you have. Apart from your recommendation letters, you also need a personal statement. And I tell people, personal statement is personal. My personal statement can never be the same with, for example, Oluwaseun's personal statement, or Temitope's personal statement, or Mr. Tosin's personal statement, or Favor or Henry. Our personal statements will be different. Whatever I've been through in life, it's possible you've not been through it, right? We have unique challenges, we have unique experiences. So what is that thing? Apart from the fact that you're amazing at your work, you finish with a distinction, for example. I didn't finish with a distinction, but if you finish with a distinction, amazing. You are multi-skilled. But what other thing can you say stands you out? So I had to be vulnerable in my personal statement. Even though I shared all the amazing things I'd done in the last 5 years, I also had to share things, my challenges, things that I'd had to go through, and I still came out stronger, right? It was personal. I needed them to see that this person is not just, apart from the fact that she's skilled, she's multi-skilled, and she has a good academic background, she's also a human being. She has been through certain challenges, but she was able to come out of it stronger, and led them to see that I'm going to be I'm a true leader, and I'm also going to be like an inspiration to the upcoming generation. I need them to see all these things, because also remember that the person reviewing your application is a human being, and that's the way I feel, the way you can get through to the person is by storytelling. You can have all the experiences, all the evidences. If you're not able to communicate these evidences or tell your story, it might be very, very difficult for you to get the visa. So remember, this Global Talent Visa is not only about your skills, your academic background, it's also about impact. It's also about you. What are they going to gain from making you a global talent in the UK? They need to see that if they give you this visa, you're going to stand out amongst every other person. So I'm going to stop there. I think I just want to take questions. I want to take questions.
Yeah, thanks so much. So I think I'm your unofficial PA tonight. I was typing most of what you are talking about in the chat section. Thanks so much. Yeah. So I think can we have questions? I think I like what you have said. Take your LinkedIn seriously. Writing and truth telling. And if you want to start LinkedIn, what do you want people to know about you? You said about that. Award, prices, and salaries, all of that. Then speaking engagement. Then you also speak about publishing articles. I think I think we should also encourage that some people that did masters, some of them can also publish their articles in journals, working with their lecturers.
Yeah.
Some can look like that. The recommendation letter, I think some people that burned the bridge, they're going to rebuild the bridge back, all of that. When joking. Yeah, all of that. And their personal statement, all of that. So, yeah, I think my own question on behalf of people that will not want to speak out is that let's look at a case of somebody people just finish masters this maybe this 2 months ago, and they have graduated now. They're on graduate visa, right? So let's say they have 2 years right now. So you have 2 years, and during the space of that 2 years, they'll be looking for a job in case they want to get sponsored job. And during that 2 years, how can they start? I know you've talked about, I want practical things because, I think a lot of people, we have to mind my words now. I know a lot of people that came to the UK in the past 2 or 3 years, they are middle age, 40 plus, not, some of them are not as techy savvy as we are, as some of us, some of us can code, some of us can do a lot of stuff. I think where would they start from? What can they do? And you also spoke about aside 9 to 5. Aside 9 to 5. You also spoke about doing this aside 9 to 5. I think there's something.
Yes.
So where can they start from? I don't know whether am I speaking your mind, everybody. I'm just trying to paint everybody, imagine everybody's perspective.
You're on track, sir. You're on track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, go on, sir. Well done.
Yeah. Okay. So where can they start from? Because at Creed, one of the things I know about people is like they are looking for practical perspective, what they can do. You know, this place about paying bills. Mr. Churchy, help us. We are looking at your food. Help us to your video. Unless I come and eat your food, help us.
We can see your.
So you are just making the point. We continue.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that action point. Let's look at the scenario of 1 year we have left on a graduate visa. What can they do? And please be hard. Because it's been, there's something we know back home in Nigeria that speak the truth. Truth is bitter and it's fine. So what can they do? Let's say they have 1 year to go. Let's say 6 or 1 year to go. What can they do? And I like what you have said. Home experience. Can they repackage it? And what can they do? Let me stop talking there.
So just to get your question. So people who have 1 year experience, right?
No, 1 year.
What can they do to get 1 year graduate visa left? So what can they do to get a job, or what can they do
What
to
can they
get
do to
their
build their
global
profile
talent
for global
visa?
talent?
Okay. So like I've been talking about LinkedIn. First thing is to set up a LinkedIn profile, because when I was, like I mentioned, your application, that nobody's going to ask you for your Instagram profile or Facebook profile. But there's a part in the technician application where they requested for your LinkedIn URL. That's to show how important LinkedIn is.
Oh, they will
So if
ask
you
for
don't even
LinkedIn.
have a LinkedIn profile, sorry?
They will ask for LinkedIn, right?
Yes, when you are applying, there's an application form. Remember, apart from all these evidences you have, or these 10 evidences you're submitting, you need to fill an application form to apply to Technician. So you need to apply to Technician before you apply to the Home Office. You're applying for your endorsement. It's Technician that would endorse you, that will decide whether you can be endorsed or not, right? Before it's now the decision that you use to go and apply for your visa. Now, on that Technician application form, they requested for URL, LinkedIn
Sorry, Mr.
URL.
Church, help us to. Your video is showing everybody seeing you. Okay, you can continue. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So they requested for LinkedIn URL. That's to show the importance of a LinkedIn profile, because your LinkedIn profile is not only showing where you've worked, it's showing other things like the impact you've even made. There are places on LinkedIn where they ask for honor, your awards. So if you've won awards, is it even there? Your LinkedIn profile is more than a CV. So the reason why they are asking for that LinkedIn profile, they want to see all the things you've done outside of your 9 to 5. If you go through my LinkedIn profile, for example, you would see everything that I've done outside of my 9 to 5. You're not going to see that on Instagram. You might see some of it, but it's going to be hard. You're not going to see it on Facebook. So have a LinkedIn profile and not just set it up and go and sleep. You need to be visible on LinkedIn. So you need to build a brand for yourself. The easiest way, for example, to get a job in the UK is to build a brand. When there was a time, it got to a point where when I stopped applying for jobs in the UK, I saw recruiters reaching out to me because I now became very active again on LinkedIn, and they were reaching out to me. If I didn't have like a functional LinkedIn profile, they would not reach out to me. So you need to have a LinkedIn profile. Decide that you're going to, in 2025, you're going to build a brand for yourself that will speak for you outside of your 9 to 5. Now, if you're doing care, because I did it too, I worked in care and I know how mentally draining working in care can be. I know because I've lived it, right? Find a time. You can decide that, if you're working 4 days in a week, for example, you can decide to create content. Pick maybe Friday or Saturday, depending on any day you're free. Create a number of content and schedule it. So you don't have to be posting every day. People would think, I'll just come and I'm posting every day. You don't have to post every day, right? Schedule the content and let it work for you. Schedule it for Monday or Wednesday or whatever, right? So that even if you're not there, while you're working in your hospital or wherever you're working, you still have presence on LinkedIn. However, you also have to find time to engage with other people. If you don't engage with other people, nobody is going to also see you. You're just posting, but you're not engaging with other people. You need to engage, right? So my first advice would be to build a LinkedIn profile. And secondly, get a coach. Why are you stingy to yourself? I tell people, if I didn't invest in a coach, I don't think I'll be here with you today, because naturally I'm introverted, my personality, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to be by myself. I don't want anyone to see my face. Yes, I'm posting pictures, so that people can see who is writing, on LinkedIn and all. But naturally, I don't want to, have, conversations, but I have to find a way that will work for me. And I got a coach to help me come out of my shell. I started building my personal brand at 30 years. So you're not too old. If you're 40, 50, you can start building a personal brand for yourself. But you need clarity. You need someone to help you on this journey. So get a coach. You're investing in yourself. Get a coach to help you launch your personal brand. So I've mentioned 2 things. I've mentioned, personal branding. I've mentioned LinkedIn. I've mentioned getting a coach.
Yeah.
So another thing again is, apart from that, you also have to decide, what do you want in the next 3 to 4 years? Is it the global talent visa you want? If it's global talent visa that you want, then how can you get these evidences? You need to now, because remember, if you want to apply for the global talent, you have to position yourself on LinkedIn as maybe a product manager, for example, or as an engineer if you have an engineering background, because that's what you're going to use to apply for your visa. So depending on what you're, applying as, you need to position yourself in that light. I applied as an HR person / product manager because I have experience in human resource management. And remember, I also have experience in building my own company, right? So Mr. Oluwaseun, I saw that this has how many minutes left? Is there a way to?
No, I don't think it can't. I'm using my university stuff, so it won't stop.
Okay, because I saw some minutes left and I was wondering.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think thanks for that. So I think I have a lot of questions coming out now. So, Mr. Sholanke, I think over to you.
Thank you, Bosho. Thank you very much, Chekwube Uchea. God bless you. I have Mr. Sean already sort of asked some of the questions I wanted to ask. You've already touched on it, but my question would be, this is to be direct, for some of us that already have, you can say you have like 2 years visa left, or just 2 years visa left, and you want to go through this global talent visa route. How you can't obviously change your past. It's not something you can rewrite rather. I haven't worked in a tech company. I worked in oil and gas while I was back in Nigeria, but it wasn't tech related. I know there is always a way you can always tweak it to make it sound as though you did something tech related. But my question would be, seeing that I only have probably 2 years left to apply, I can do something about the next 2 years. Everything you've mentioned, I can do them right towards applying for this visa 2 years from now. However, because I know that they take into cognizance the last 5 years, what have you done in the last 5 years, in terms of that can say that you are a promise. So what would you advise regarding the last 3 years of my life that hasn't been tech related, so to speak? I haven't worked in a tech company, it's oil and gas. And what I do currently is working in telecommunications, but it's still a utility company. So I can't still say a tech company. But I know that there is a way I can deal with that in the next 2 years. But what about the last 3 years? What would you suggest, basically?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Sholanke, for that question. So you can, in fact, first of all, 2 years, you have a lot of time. And I'll say that you have a lot of time. There are a lot of people who don't have that amount of time. So first of all, you have a lot of time. And you mentioned you have experience in oil and gas. Now, this is practical. Do you have friends who have founded tech companies? Let's be practical here. Do you have friends who have founded tech companies? Or
Yes, I do.
You do, right? Can you also serve as, for example, speak to them? Do you have good relationships with them?
Yes.
Can you, propose that, I would like to, this is what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to apply for a global talent visa, and I need to show that I've worked in a tech company for at least a number of, years or whatever. Can you propose and say, okay, I'm going to volunteer for your company? So this is going to be a mutually beneficial relationship, right?
Sure.
They're not paying you anything. The only thing you need from them is that experience and their company's name, right? So can I volunteer for you for maybe 1 year so that I can use the name of your company, and I can say, I can show that, I've applied, I've worked in a tech company. So if you have a good relationship with those people, I'm sure they'll be willing to do that, especially because a lot of people who have startups, they're looking for someone that can handle certain things in their company. So if you're going to be volunteering for them, I'm sure it's going to be a mutually beneficial relationship. So that's something you can do. Don't bother yourself so much about the fact that you've had oil and gas experience in the past, right? You can't do anything about that. What can you do now? Now you have a friend, or you have friends that founded tech companies. You can also optimize your profile. You can remove oil and gas. Nobody cares, right? So the way my profile is now, that's not how I applied. No, that's not how I applied. I had to optimize certain things, right? I removed some information because I had a lot of experience, 1 month, 2 months here and there. I removed all those things when I wanted to apply, and I put what these people are looking for. So get those friends you have, 1 or 2, right, that are going to volunteer for them. But on your application, you don't have to say you volunteered. Who cares? I worked for this company. That's, I worked for this company. I worked in this capacity, right? But another thing, again, you have to choose. Do you want to apply as a product manager? Do you want to apply as a cybersecurity expert? Because that's what you're going to need to build your profile. So the first step is to choose what you want to apply as, either as a product manager or depending on your skills or your interest. So let me ask you, do you have any interest in tech? Have you ever thought about any specific area in tech? And it can be business skill or technical skill.
Yes, but so many times you just have things, they are just like dreams. They never really come into reality. You have this so many things that you want to learn. I wish I can do this. And yes, I have them written out as a resolution every year. 2024, I'm going to do this. And then 2024 ends. You have a lot that you're, trying to do at the same time. So yes, product management is something that I had in mind for 2024. Because I remember that we had something in Creed where, Broshen, if you can remember, where you brought this this set of product managers, and they came, they explained to us. I had keen interest there, but unfortunately, I've not been able to come around, doing that. But going forward, at least 2025, now that I know this, I know that it's not just enough to say I want to do this, and I know that it's definitely going to come in handy in the next 2 years when you want to apply for this. So definitely.
Okay. So now let's speak product management, right? Because you've thought about that in the past. So you can decide now that, this your friend that has a tech company, you can say, you want to volunteer as a product manager. Get 1 year experience or 1 year, 6 months experience, in his company. Do certain things for him, propose certain things. But remember, it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. So when you are applying, you're not applying. Nobody cares that you've done oil and gas. They don't care. Technician doesn't care. It's what you show them that they are going to assess. They're not going to go and dig up your past. And that's why I say LinkedIn is really important. You have to optimize your profile. So when it's time to apply, you remove that, you worked in oil and gas and all those things, right? Put product manager in so and so company. And this is what he's been doing, right? You can decide that, because they are looking for the last 5 years, right? It's okay for you people change careers every day. So don't overthink it. Yeah, this is what I was doing before. And I transitioned, right? I was in oil and gas, but I transitioned into tech. That's okay, right? Let them see that, you've been actually working before. Because like I mentioned, there's no human resources written on technician. They don't care that I did human resources. But I also showed them evidences as an HR professional and evidences as a product manager. They were not interested in human resources, but they saw that I've done other things aside human resources, right? So you can apply as a product manager, show evidences as a product manager. So that's the first step. Do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is it, when I mean you have a, not just a profile, and are you visible on LinkedIn? Do you post?
Not regularly, but yes, I do updates maybe every 3 months or 4 months. The last time I had a change of role at work, at least I did that, and I tried to clean up, but that was about it.
Okay. So now that you're going to be transitioning, right? So you're going to be applying as a product manager. You will need to start posting things in line with product management, not oil and gas. So I don't know what you were posting before, but if you choose product management, you need to start building your brand around product management so that so that you can attract recognition, so awards in tech. Remember, you need these things to apply for your profile, to apply for your graduate visa, your global talent visa. So you need to start, posting things in line with product management, start following products companies, tech companies, and start attending conferences, start, building relationships with people in tech, so that when they want to recognize, they're recognizing you in tech, not oil and gas. So
True.
it's what you build your profile as that people will see you as, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So it's very possible. And I feel like 2 years is a good time. But don't wait. Don't wait. If I should have started yesterday. So even though you have time, don't think, you have a lot of time, right? You still need to start yesterday. That's today.
True.
So I don't know if, did I answer your question?
Oh, you did. You did. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
You're
Thank you so much,
welcome.
sir. Yeah, then Mr. Timothy. Mr. Timothy.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
That's all right. First of all, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Mr. Shem and also Chekwube for making yourself available and expressing yourself in our midst. I want to deeply appreciate you for all this. I still remember vividly 2 years ago, I met Mr. Shehu in Aberdeen, and I indicated a little bit interest on this. And back then, I was quite myopic. You understand? Still a student, and after I graduated, I also talked to him about it, and he actually recommended some things, and I swept it under the carpet. So hearing you right now is quite an encouragement, and it's sort of like it motivated me because I'm actually an introvert, just like you. And I was like saying, okay, does it worth me? That was exactly the question I asked him. I said, does it worth me investing in this and not getting it? So it's better for me to leave it and not to invest in it. But after I had some few words with him some couple of weeks ago and hearing you right now, I think I have to take a bold step. And my question is this: I want to know, because I actually know exactly where my problem is coming from. I'm a tech person, and that's exactly what I do right now. And I'm currently on PSW, that's the graduate visa route. It's quite like 13 months remaining. So I just want to know, how am I going to start by getting a coach? Because I know that's exactly what I need. Just getting someone to guide me with the right talk and also with the right steps to take, then how to go about it. And also, from what you said, it was quite a bit challenging because I made up my mind that most of my write-up, I'm going to use a chat GPT to do that. But it dawned on me that it doesn't work that way. So that's why I actually want to know how to get the right person as a coach and also a mentor that will lead me through the journey. So that's my question. So I don't know if you can assist me with that. If you can, that's fine. Or if not, you can recommend someone else that can assist me with that. And I'm going to start right away to pursue
Okay.
that. And let's see how it goes before the middle of 2025. So,
First of all, you've already taken a bold step. And I can relate. As an introvert, people don't understand our struggle, Mr.
of
Timothy.
course,
They don't
they
understand
don't.
it. I don't think they understand. Extroverts don't understand.
Especially if you're someone that is godly. He knows me.
Trust me, before I accepted this invitation from Oluwaseun, I'm someone that's shy away from speaking in public, right? I can do writing, but nobody see me talk. I still struggle with it, but what I do is to do it afraid. And I prayed. I said, God, oh my goodness, I don't like this video thing, but well, I'm going into 2025. I need to do something differently. My personal brand, I've always been posting pictures. People don't see me talk. What can I do again? So sometimes just taking that bold step to come out of our comfort zone can help us a lot. It's a struggle and I can relate. What helped me was that I got a coach that is also an introvert. That's what helped me. So she could relate to me a lot. And this is not I'm not talking about my global talent coach now. I'm talking about the coach that has helped me in the last 5 years. Because she's also not an extrovert, she understands me, where I'm coming from. It just made it easy for us to relate. And that's why she's still my coach. She has been coaching me since 2020, right? I've had other coaches, but she's like constant in my life, right? So my advice is, if there are things you want to do, like goals you want to achieve, try getting a coach to help you, someone that can relate to you, someone that can understand where you're coming from, right? In terms getting someone, I can recommend my coach to you, the person that coached me, or I can coach you. So depending on what you want, I can recommend the person that coached me, and I can also coach you. So you have to make that decision on what you want.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
That's all right.
Do you have any other question?
I will send you, Brother Timothy, I will send you, maybe DM me, I will send you Sister Chekwube, or let me start check. I'm still trying to, yeah, I'll send you her email address, all of that. Thanks for that. I'm happy that this event is bringing fruits already. Then,
but do you have any other question, Mr. Timothy?
Not for now, please.
Okay,
that's all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Tosin. Then, okay, before I call Mr. Tosin, so a chat, well said, is this question in the chat box, and said, well said, Chekwube, thanks for sharing your story. Did you have any core knowledge in tech? I know you mentioned Gamma Cleans, but that's not tech. How did you apply? What was useful in your experience that made them pick your tech route? I think this person
amazing question.
This person listening attentively, everything.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Musa Eloho. Yeah, so I didn't have core knowledge in tech. Like I mentioned, the Global Talent Visa is not only for those in tech. If you check the Tech Nation sites, you have business skills and you have technical field. So under technical fields, people who are engineers, cybersecurity experts, developers, UI UX designers, those are considered core technical field. Business field, people who are product managers, have sales experience, who, but have worked in product-led companies, are considered under business field, right? Or under business skills. So I don't have any core knowledge in tech. I didn't apply as someone in technical field. I only applied as an employee of a tech company, right? And I applied as a product manager. Product manager is under business skills. Global Talent Visa is not meant for only people in tech. That's the mistake a lot of people make. It's not for only, they stated it, there's technical field, there's business skills, right? Or business field. So for example, you might fall under business skills if you don't have core tech experience. So I applied as someone who has experience in the business field. And Gemma Cleans is a cleaning company. It's not tech, but I made my storytelling. So what I did was to create an app, right? What I did was to also rebrand the company. So before it was Gemma Home Care, but I made it Gemma Cleans. But I showed them that this is now a cleaning tech company. It was my storytelling. And I applied as a founder of the company. That this is my company. I've created this product. Remember, I applied as a product manager. So I'm showing them that, I created this product and this is what the company has been doing in the last 5 years, right? I also showed them my CSC certificate to show that, this company has actually been ongoing. It's not like it just started since 2019. I showed them my CSC certificate from 2019. So you don't have to be in tech. Can I ask Musa, what's your field? I think I'll be able to answer your question better if I understand you personally. If you're willing to unmute and speak, are you under the technical skill or the business skill? Is the person still here?
I think he should be here. I can't. He said his house is noisy and he got taught.
Okay. Okay.
He said he will
So I don't
chat.
have I answered your question? So you don't have to be in tech to apply for the global talent visa, but you should have at least worked with tech companies. That's the difference. So remember I mentioned Verifying. Verifying is a tech company, and I worked with them as a senior executive apart from being an HR manager.
I
So
think
I applied as an employee and
I
a
think
founder of my own company.
I think his own is a research base. I think his own can go for the education route or something. The other one.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't really know so much about that route, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah. Mr. Tosin, over to you. I think I've pegged you. I'm sorry, you're actually the one that raised up your hand. Sorry.
I've been waiting for his question, actually.
All right. Good evening.
Mr. Dosi, we can't see your face, so
You want to see my face? You've seen my face before
yeah.
now. All right. So just permit me.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay.
So thanks so much for your, the knowledge you've really shared. And, sometimes when you share like this, you kind of onboarding some of the things, blockages. So I want to ask, I'll just like structure my question. So firstly, what is the impact? Is there any impact of becoming a professional membership, as in joining a professional membership of certain organization? Is there a way that such membership give leverage? For example, I'm saying that in relation to when you hear like when you have like this global talent visa in the UK, the equivalent is the O1 visa in the US, extraordinary ability, whatever. So those other visas, some things like membership and all that, those things also boost. So I'm just asking, do joining a membership, does it also like help your application? That's one. Then the aspect of volunteering, you understand, maybe you volunteered in a tech conferences to show your contribution and all that. And then finally, within this application, there are some of us, maybe we are in the knowledge space and we are trying to like position as a thought leader or consultant, within the knowledge space, whereby, okay, I'm an AI consultant, I consult for a company, I run training and all that. Are there any like specific way one could position, for such position aside being a product manager and all that for this application? Thank you.
Can you ask the third question again, please? I didn't get that.
Okay. So aside being, product manager, maybe software engineer and other roles, for those that are like within the knowledge space, maybe you are working as a consultant, you understand, it could be, oh, I'm an AI consultant, I'm an emerging tech consultant. Can those roles also fit in within this application processes, or one will have to just, specify and align with, what can, give you leverage?
Okay. So I'll start with answering the third question. No. And it's stated clearly on their website. So if you go through the requirements, there's a place where they stated consultants. If you're a consultant, outsourcing companies, all those things, you cannot apply for the visa because you're not considered, product-led companies or digital technology companies. So unfortunately, no. What you can do is to find a way to pick a certain skill under business skill, because I would say consultant that's fall under business skills, right? Depending. You could decide to choose one of those skills and attach it to your consulting. But don't state consulting just like that, because consultants are not, they cannot apply for this global talent visa. For volunteering conferences and all, yes, you can use that as an evidence. That will fall under, remember I mentioned there's mandatory, there's optional 1 criteria and optional 2 criteria. So under your optional 2, that's where all this would help you. You put pictures of all the conferences you've attended, all your volunteer experiences, all the things you did for them, the companies and all. So all these things will come under your optional 2 criteria. So if you have that, that's amazing. It will make your application stronger. For the membership, the Global Talent Visa, they are not interested in any membership or anything, right? Even your academic background is not so important. I'm not saying you shouldn't add it, but yeah, add it, but it's not like they're not looking for, for me, for example, am I part of the Chartered Institute of Personal Development? Or no, they're not looking for all those memberships, right? But if you have it, you can include it in your personal statements when you're writing your personal statement, just to make your application stronger, so that they can see that, oh, the last 3 to 5 years, this person has been doing certain things. This person is very keen on personal development. This person has been developing him or herself, but it's not like part of the application process or procedure. You don't have to include that in your application. Please let me know if I answered the question.
Yeah, you have. So, and also, what about you made mention of, founding a company. So if you are a founder, let's say, of a tech company, are you still going to like stay on that particular, represent yourself that, I'm a founder, or you still have to like, apply for specific roles like this, position yourself for specific role, like a product owner, or
Good question. So what I did was, yes, I applied as a founder, and I was also the product manager of my company. Even though I'm the founder, right? I'm also the lead product manager. So I added product management. So let's not get this wrong, right? We need to give them what they want. These people are looking for certain things in your application. They are reviewing so many people's application. So just give them what they want. It just makes it, when they pick up your application, let them see what you're applying as. Oh, is this person on that business skill or technical skill? So depending on what you're applying as, that's how they're going to review your application. So just make it easy for them, so that when they pick up your profile, it just makes it easy for them to review it. So my advice would be, attach something, a skill that is stated on their website. And they have list of skills. They have over 10 or more, right? Just pick one that's it's related to what you currently do. And if it's not, you can build on that, right?
Yeah. So sorry, I'm not trying to like stretch. Based on this founder thing you mentioned, so what's the like list, what's it called? Number of months or evidence for your maybe bank statements, pay slip and all that? Because for your company, you've been generating stuff, paying yourself salary. Oh, I am the, what's it called, lead products manager for this company that you founded and all that. So what's like the list? Is it like, oh, okay, we want to see your last, inflow for 6 months or 1 year? I just want to get clarity on that.
Good question. Thank you for asking that question. So for me, I didn't have to show them that I was paying myself anything. I didn't show them anything like that. The only place I showed them salary was where I worked as an employee of a tech company. I showed them salary and bank statement, pay slip and all that. But for my own company, the only thing I showed them was that I registered the company in 2019. And I showed them that, oh, this was not a tech company before, meaning I didn't have any products like my cleaning product or my my app, the company's app. This was what the company was doing before. But as time went on, I decided to rebrand. So I rebranded last year. I got a new website. So I paid a website designer to rebrand, do a completely new website. And I also showed them the new CAC certificates that is showing 2023 or 2024. So they could see that transition. Remember, it's exceptional promise. They don't expect you to be perfect. They just want to see the potential that, this person has something going on. If we give this person this visa, definitely in the next 3 to 5 years, this person must have done more. So that's why I advise people apply for exceptional promise. The criteria they use to judge your application for exceptional promise is definitely not the same thing with exceptional talent. So they don't expect you have everything figured out or you give yourself so much money or anything at all. Some founders don't pay themselves, right? So you don't have to bother yourself about that. What you have to show is the places you've worked, what you've earned, and if you've been promoted and all those things, you show that salary progression.
All right. I really appreciate. Thanks so much. God bless.
Welcome.
Thank you. We plan 1 hour. We spend more than an hour.
I'm okay. I'm still available to answer any other questions.
Yeah. So can we have one or two questions before we go? And as this event is supposed to be a matching order for us for next year, We're not going to have any event next month, so this should be something a lot of us to chew on. To, oh, what will I do? What will I do? What will I do? What will I do? Now I think one of the take-home point, I have a LinkedIn profile. Okay, is anybody raising up? Okay, Saint.
Yeah.
Okay, Saint. I don't know.
Hello, Saints.
Okay, you know her very well.
No, I don't know. I don't know how.
Hello, Saint. Over to you. You raise up your hand.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
so
I can hear
what's
you.
Yeah,
where, as in, which place? What's your location? Where are you calling from?
Okay, from Aberdeen.
Yeah, we won.
Saint is a man, not her. Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask if you're open to mentorship, because I need someone to hold me by the hands and walk me through the process. So I don't know if it's possible for me to get your contact or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the global talent coaching, I have people that I coach to get the visa, but it's a coaching, not a mentorship, right? So it's a paid coaching session. But if you're interested in that, yeah, I can share my contact, my email address, and you can reach out to me via email. Secondly, recently I was just, I was reflecting. I was like, oh my goodness, it's my fourth Christmas celebration or fourth Christmas season in the UK. I remember the first time I celebrated Christmas, I was overwhelmed, so many things. And I was thinking, what can I do for other people? So I decided to launch like a Telegram group where people can have access to me, because the truth is, because I have other things I'm doing, I can't always respond to people's chats. But if there is like, I mean one-on-one, but if there's like where other people would benefit from, then that's amazing. So I decided to create something. So if you're interested in joining that group, I can share the link. You fill the form and tell me the reason why you really want to join, because I don't want everybody to be in that group, because I'm going to be dedicating my time for people who are going to be on that group. So answering questions, even on Global Talent Visa, I'm definitely going to answer questions on Global Talent Visa. That's for people who cannot afford to pay for my one-on-one coaching. I would definitely, answer questions there. So if you want to join that, I can share the link and you can register for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
thank
Are
you.
you sharing the link here on LinkedIn?
Okay, I can share the link here now in the comment section. Let me
Share it,
just get it.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So you can follow me on LinkedIn. If you're not, then Instagram. And that's the link to also signify interest. So when I create the group, I would send you the link.
All right. So for the mentorship stuff, the email, I don't know, is it something maybe Mr. Olabode will do that, or I'm just trying to.
Okay. I'm going to put that in the comments or the
okay.
chat section now. Yeah. Chekwube@gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah.
So any other questions?
We've not heard from any lady, right? We're not partial. We're not gender imbalance here.
Oh my ladies, why? People are observing. Okay.
So I really want to say that thank you, Ma, for tonight. And I think a lot of people have learned so much. There's one thing people mainly do: goal setting, vision minding, all of that. I'm an outlier, I don't believe all of that.
Oh, I believe in it.
So
and let me just say this, the last thing before we close for the night. I believe in goal setting. I believe in vision boarding. I believe in affirmation, positive affirmations, a lot. And my coach taught me about these things. I believe in visualization. So before I got my UK Global Talent visa, I would see so many people putting UK Global Talent on LinkedIn. And I'll be like, God, please. I can't wait to have my own. I'll be visualizing. Whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm sitting, I'll take myself into my future. and think of how I got, before I got it though, I've not even started my application process. This was last year, July. I was working in one mental health hospital in Blackpool. When I'm walking around the hospital, I'll just be visualizing. I'll be saying it's positive affirmation. I was endorsed as a UK Global Talent. I had not started my application. I was endorsed. I said it until I believed it. So positive affirmation goes a long way. Saying things until you believe it. Not I was endorsed. Energy, I was endorsed. And I started seeing myself changing my LinkedIn profile to UK Global Talent. So the day I did it, oh my God, these things work. Then I also believe in vision boarding. And I learned this from my coach in 2019 or 2020. And that was the first time I even got to know about her. She talked about vision boarding. Before then, I'd never heard anything about vision boarding. Remember, introverts, we are not on social media, we're just there, nobody knows us. So that day I went on Facebook and she had talked about vision boarding. And I listened to her over 1 hour session of vision boarding. And I decided to create my vision board. So I still have a vision board. And I put it on my vision board last year that I was endorsed as a UK Global Talent. Even when I was struggling to pay my fees, complete my fees, I put it on my vision board that I put pictures of graduation, how I graduated, and I was throwing my hats. So I went on Google, looked for a picture of people graduating, and I put it and I put my name there as well. And I also put it that my student account was not restricted. Speaking life into your future, you have to visualize it and you have to believe it for it to really work for you. So it's okay if you don't believe in it, but I believe in it and it has worked for me for the past 5 years.
Yeah, you didn't get the actual way I'm going, but I like what you're saying. What I'm saying is that I just like to take actions.
Definitely.
I just like to take actions. So and I like the approach you come in, which is fine. So
Exactly.
So what we have here tonight can actually make us to take actions. So that's what I want to. That's where I was going, and I like the angle, like imagination. Like in my wall, I have what you said. I actually do it. I just put what I like on the wall.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I think I learned down from Pastor Sam Adeyemi.
Oh,
Adeyemi
really?
will put Ferrari on his wall, and in 2 or 3 years time we have Ferrari. So I normally if I show my wall now, I normally put some things there that I kept seeing all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So but
And
what
I
was
agree with you. Like, if you do all these things and you're not taking action, imagine if I was saying all those things and I didn't do all the things I needed to do to get my application ready and I didn't apply. It won't come to pass. So doing these things and also doing the work, taking action, that's the game changer, really.
Yeah. So to summarize your word, let me try. Have a LinkedIn. That is one. Section, schedule your posting. Volunteer what you are doing, and then so those are things that I just take away for on behalf of a member that come today. Have a LinkedIn post, but not just to post, but position yourself in your post.
Yeah.
And then your evidences have to be there. Then I think also ability to also reach out. And this is part of the event tonight, and I know a lot of people are going to reach out to you. I don't know how to thank you, but anytime I see you in person, I owe you a book because I read
That's
books a
okay.
lot. So thanks so much. I
That's
only met you
okay.
on LinkedIn. That's me. I will just try it. If it won't work, all of that. Thank you very much. And the only thing I can say is that God will come to open more doors for you. You have refreshed others, God will refresh you as well. On behalf of the lead, because Creed is under church, on behalf of leaders in church, I want to thank you for this. We didn't take it for granted, but I promise when I see you in person, I promise you a book that you will
That's
survive the kind of book.
okay.
Thanks, and if you reach out to me, if there's anything you want from my end, reach out to, and if possible, you are now in Aberdeen, we can host you. All of that, and I tell you, we have more bigger. I say now, bigger community here. We have more blacks here. I can't lie to you.
Amazing. If you invite me, I'll come for physical events. I'll come.
Yeah. Thank you. So, what's your
Thank you
last
so
word?
much.
Any last word for our
Amazing. I
members?
thought you were not going to ask me. I thought you were not going to ask me. Well, good that you asked me.
Yeah.
So my last words would be, no one, as an immigrant or international student or whatever, no one has everything figured out. We are only trying. We're taking steps to make things better for our future. I don't have everything figured out. Yes, I have a UK Global Talent, but I still don't have everything figured out, right? I still make mistakes. But what I do is I'm learning from my mistakes. But what I've decided is that I'm not going to let all the challenges that I go through stop me from achieving, my goals or my vision, my whys. I have reasons why I came here, right? Sometimes it can be very overwhelming. You're thinking, oh, can I meet up with the next bill? Because you're coming from a country where you're paying rent once a year, coming here, just a lot of expectations. You need to break out from people pleasing. People expect that, oh, you've been in the UK for a year. Oh, you should have everything now. Be sending all the money in the world to them back in Nigeria. No. One of the things I also advise people is take good care of yourself. Your mental health is very important. As you are doing all these things, you cannot write if you're not in a good mental space. You cannot put up a good application if you're not in a good mental space. So do everything possible to guard your mental health. I believe in blocking people and removing people from my life. If you're not good for my mental health, if you're stressing me, because I'm already stressed, you can't stress me for the past 3 years. It's not easy to be a single person in the UK. You're paying bills, you're doing all this, you're trying to, make a life out, make a living for yourself. If you're going to stress me, I'm going to block you. I love you from afar, but I need to choose myself first. So in 2025, make sure you choose yourself. Make sure you choose your mental health. Take good care of yourself. It's when you're taking good care of yourself, you can do things, you can achieve your goals. You can also help people. So put you first and never ever feel sorry or never ever feel a certain way for putting yourself first. That will be my last words. Mental health. I'm a mental health advocate. Thank you so much for
Thank you. I
listening.
wish
Thank you.
okay, Christmas have gone. Compliment of the season, and I wish you a prosperous, productive. What was the last P? I think I should have one P. Prosperous, peaceful 2025.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, and thank you for all people that joined. I know that this is the wrong time to have an event, but I just let us do this type of.
I mean, 21 people are still on the call. That's amazing. I thought by now there would be like 5 or so. So thank you everyone for staying to the end.
So, good night, everybody.
Good night.